Have you ever wondered what happens overhead at night? What dances of color may paint the sky? What bright points of light might march through the cosmos? And whether what we call a meteor shower might in fact be some galactic battle happening eons and light years away. Science may identify every pinpoint of light and every track left in the sky, but to me the dark remains a beautiful mystery that flees with the first light of dawn. Today on our dispersed camp overlooking Zion, the dawn was a little clouded by distant rain showers. Breakfast of eggs and sausage should have been a simple affair, but yesterday somebody'd forgotten to put the cap back on the water tank, and water was now scarce.
Are you going to get enough water out of there?
Thankfully, there was enough water that morning for coffee and breakfast. And our first destination that morning was Kanab, to drop Tristan off so he could head home and get back to work. Water wouldn't be in short supply for long.
So we camped last night on the edge of Zion, which was beautiful, and saw some rain almost hitting the ground, but probably not. Some beautiful sun this morning, and now we're driving out in beautiful morning light. And this is the road. It's pretty much all like this. There's a little bit at the end that's not quite so easy, a little bit rougher. I don't want to take the Toyota back there, Camry Curl and stuff like that, but most vehicles with high clearance would be fine. In the meantime, we're going to get back in the air conditioning. Right, Rue? See her face down there? She's on the shade so she can't see her own. Get some pictures on the way out. And go into Kanab to get Tristan back to his vehicle so he can get back to work. And then we gotta figure out what we're doing for the next couple of days. We'll see where we're going.
The first choice that we had to make that morning was, do we take the short and time trip back to Kanab? Or do we take the short geographical trip through Zion National Park? As all three vehicles had annual park passes, I chose the trip through the crowded but beautiful Zion National Park. When we finally hit pavement that morning, we stopped to air up all three vehicles. As the trip through Zion National Park, it's all paved. The crowds, buses, and RVs we saw as we drove through Springdale, Utah, they made us all just a little skeptical about whether this was the right choice.
Told me he likes our Jeep Army.
I love it.
Is that a cave or a cutout or lookout or whatever right in front of us?
Looks like it's handmade, like carved out.
This is just absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, Chris.
Yep, I guess it's worth it, despite all these crazy people. But sometimes it feels like spend an hour a day airing up and airing down.
Which is probably about accurate, but if you're driving on the washboarded, corrugated roads that we were driving on, I would highly recommend it. So while the boys aired down and blew out the dust from the radiator, I went in search of the local wildflowers that were still in bloom, even in October. Bill, Reacher, Adriana, and I had talked about a couple options that we could have driven today. We could have gone all the way out to the Valley of the Gods and Loki Dugway. We could have gone to the coral pink sand dunes, but instead, we all agreed that we wanted to try our hands at the 20-mile-long Barracks Trail. Starting from the south end, the Barracks Trail is primarily hard-packed dirt and sand with a few rocky ledges. The south end also passes through a lot of Bureau of Land Management land, which opens up the possibility for some great dispersed camping. For the last week, we'd been getting into camp fairly late, almost at sunset if not dark. And so today the idea was to get into a camp early so we could sit back and relax for a change. This 2023 Jeep Rubicon Gladiator is Bill and my newest purchase. In our first 7 months of ownership, we've upgraded to 37-inch tires with a leveling kit, deleted the back seat to make room for a large refrigerator, added a half rack, and put a rooftop tent on top. We also added a 270-degree awning, and the bolts were getting just a little loose due to our driving practices this time. But Bill soon had them all tightened up, and that 270 awning was ready for action. Bill and my first overlanding vehicle was this 2013 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon that we bought used in 2015. The back of the vehicle's been turned into a full kitchen with a refrigerator and an Amish drawer system. You'll also notice that JT has a rooftop tent, but the black Jeep doesn't. And that's because when we started overlanding with the black Jeep, we also bought an off-road trailer that had its own rooftop tent, along with a water tank, shower, solar panel, and even a diesel heater.
Got the watermark on the bumper, the crossing. Yeah, that was in Arkansas. We're clear in Utah now.
Reacher initially started overlanding with a 2012 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon JKU. He started out sleeping on a cot in an awning room attached to that Jeep. Currently, he's driving a 2020 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon, which is on 37-inch tires with a lift. He initially started out with a soft-shell rooftop tent on this vehicle, but recently he's upgraded that to a hardtop variety.
Yeah, rainbow, I would think.
And indeed, there was a rainbow.
Don't you want to get in and out of the rain? Don't you want to get in and out of the rain? There you go. Ooh, here comes the wind.
Coming from the opposite flipping direction there. Sounds like it's over there.
It does.
You ready to grab onto things?
Yeah, be ready to grab things.
Huh?
You hear the wind?
Wind over there is just blasting.
Goes your door. Almost goes. Ooh, that's cold. Wow. Burr. Oh, here comes another one. It's blowing the other way. What do you think, crew? What's going on? You like the cool air? I bet you love that cool air, don't you? Ooh, burr. There's the carpet.
But thankfully, the wind soon calmed again.
We just get these little showers all around us, don't we?
I should send my kids some pictures now that I don't have one with me anymore.
Yep, you should.
There, I sent that same picture to Tristan. I said, miss you, D-Man.
Jeez, how nice. You sent him a picture of a toilet?
Yep.
The trails of Utah are many and varied, and we could easily have driven straight through the Barracks Trail without stopping to enjoy this dispersed camp. But when you race through things and you don't stop to relax, you can miss out on some of life's best moments.
First.
She does on my side.
Good job.
There you go.
You're big, baby.
No more like biscuits. that'll taste good. Here's part of breakfast.
After a relaxing breakfast, we found ourselves back on the trail again.
There's the route. This is interesting. Not a really tight turn.
I'm gonna need some stickers, Bill, after this.
Some Band-Aid stickers for your Jeep?
Yep.
I was thinking the same thing. This is quite twisty. Quite twisty indeed. All these steep off cambers. Built up, I'm sure, by sides over the years. That's kind of fun. Definitely twisty. Definitely watch your awnings, your tents, things like that.
Every description for the Barracks Trail includes the mention of sand, but many of them also include the mention of a few rock obstacles. And we hadn't found any of those yet, but that was about to change.
Yeah. Gotta hold us up?
Yeah, maybe.
You might need to. Brace yourself.
Yes, the car does not need insurance. He needs insurance.
No problem. scratched my tailpipe.
So today we've been driving the Barracks Trail, got up, left our camp probably a little before 9. You do want to be aware that there is traffic on this. It's not a lot of traffic. We ran into at least one truck, a couple side-by-sides, things like that. This is a lot of sand, a lot of off-camber, the section we've been in so far, which is the easier section. You do occasionally come across some rock obstacles. It's like layers of slick rock it's not sideways, but it's off camber, and you get to drive up and down it. It's pretty cool. We haven't had any problems. We've just been in low. There was one section that if you're not careful, you could tear off your awning on the side, but we had enough room coming down it that it wasn't a big deal. So it's been a lot of fun. If you like to drive in the sand or you want to practice driving in sand and off camber, this is actually a really cool section to do that in, because it's not seriously deep sand yet, but there's a lot of off camber. You can tell there's a lot of side-by-side traffic through here because of the way the trail banks back and forth in a lot of areas. So just be aware, but this is a lot of fun and the views are beautiful. Let me show you.
And there's also that view behind me right there too, who's sneaking up on me. I'm not sure what he's sneaking up on me for.
The Utah Sasquatch.
Oh my goodness, you do look kind of like a Utah Sasquatch. Back to get it.
Yeah, my fridge was off again, so hopefully she'll stay on now. It's at 38 though.
So right now I'm actually sitting at a 10-degree off camber. So again, just keep in mind that it may feel more like this when you're actually here in person. The little dog is sharing my Chex Mix, so hopefully there's nothing in the Chex Mix that is not good for her. She's enjoying the Chex Mix, I think. I almost ate something with chocolate, and then I remembered I couldn't share it with her, and she looked at me like I was about to betray her, so I went to something that she could share.
Alright, Black Jeep didn't want to go in gear again, but we're off now. I was saying, like, bro, dude, you're backing up. That's the only gear we go, and it does that every once in a while. It's done it for years. I keep saying, one of these days, I'm going to be sitting in the middle of nowhere, and it's not going to go. She's very consistent about it. It never gets worse, so whatever.
That is a deep ravine to our left.
Don't get too close to the edge. It's nothing but sand.
Don't I know it?
Dylan was already thinking of jumping with a parachute.
Huh. I assume there are several parachutes big enough to catch a Jeep on the way down.
He said the Army has them.
That does not surprise me.
He said, have you driven this before? And I said, nope. I said, well, is there anything you want to know about it? And they said, I know there's a big sandy hill up here. You said, oh, that's no problem. You're going down it. Good thing you're not going up it. That's why we came this way.
You know, I could take a Black Jeep and turn around and climb that hill for film purposes if you would like.
Well, why don't we see what time it is when we get there and how bad it is going down.
Going down won't be a problem. You got gravity to slide you right down.
Hopefully not tumbling sideways and rolling.
It'll stay straight. If it ever does start to turn on you, just gas it and speed up. It's the best thing to do.
And no, this is not the big sandy hill. But it is a 12-degree pitch downhill.
Like off-roading in Zion. Looks like you have a walker up there.
There's a side-by-side and two of them. He's walking back up to his side-by-side. Makes me wonder whether this is the big sand hill.
So we just bypassed it.
No, we're not done yet. We've got a ways to go, but it may be the hill.
Yep. It's going to go down through here, and there's going to be a little bit of a rocky section, and there's hard left, and it's just like a roller coaster down.
Reacher decided to tackle the hill first.
was too easy.
And then it was my turn. And as much anxiety as I had over driving this hill, Reacher was right. It was too easy.
I get the feeling that when they gave me an orthopedic boot for my broken, fractured, sprained, whatever it may be foot, that this is probably not what they expected it to do. But we work with what we have. There, now at least I've got all the mud off of it.
Right at the bottom of that big sandy hill, we found a perfect place to stop for lunch. But when Bill discovered that the refrigerator wasn't working in the black Jeep,
Yep,
lunch
ready.
had to be placed on the back burner.
See what it does. See whether it's going to charge or not.
It's clicking.
Why is it clicking?
Because we're not supposed to plug it in that way, would be my guess.
Okay, then unplug it.
Because it's not charging. See, no input.
You're
no
right.
output.
We have no input, no
When
output,
there's
so
a
we
clicking
can't.
noise, it's bad.
We can't charge it that way. So basically the EcoFlow was hooked up to the fridge and the black Jeep. It's only about a 500 watt.
Well,
The Jeep for some reason is not charging it up to 100% during the day when we're driving. It's possible we just weren't driving enough or it wasn't connected someday and it got way too low. It now won't run the fridge. We have a backup with the Jackery which is running it now, but we don't have the right cord to run the Jackery to the Jeep to have it charge while we're driving during the day. So we're trying to find another way to charge the EcoFlow while we're driving. So far we haven't found one. We ought to have the proper cords. We can't seem to find the proper cords. They do not line up with the Blue Eddy or the Jackery. They're all proprietary. They don't work. Possible maybe we could switch the Blue Eddy out of the orange Jeep and put it over here, but the problem is it's kind of buried and it's going to be hard to get to and hard to move. But that may be a project we're going to have to do, so we'll just see.
After enjoying a quick lunch by the riverbank, we drove out along the last remaining 6 miles of trail. Onyx calls this area the Lower Barracks Trail, and it has a completely different character than the Upper Barracks. Although the road here is very similar to that above, with hard-packed dirt, sand, and some rock obstacles, here it meanders back and forth repeatedly across the East Fork of the Virgin River.
So I either want to go here or go there.
yeah, I would keep the driver's tire,
Right here?
yeah, and then your passenger right there, and you should be able to come around. But
I'm lined up.
pretty much, but just come left slightly.
So go left.
Or right, I mean. Damn it. You're right.
Turn just a little bit that way. Are you going to be able to guide me?
Yeah.
find my tailpipes.
Wasn't too
The
bad.
Barracks Trail is named for a dramatic, narrow portion of a canyon along the east fork of the Virgin River. It's miles away from this trail, where the walls are tall and tight. This area is also known for its white cliffs and the legend of the Lost Ledge of Gold. Around 1870, an old prospector told John Lorenzo Hubble a story about the White Cliffs and a cavern you could discover there that had white quartz stalactites that were caked with gold.
I'm not sure whether you're supposed to go my way or downhill.
Hubble spent several years searching for that lost cavern of gold. Eventually, he was attacked by the locals, wounded and forced to flee for his life over the affections of a woman. But that didn't stop his search. Instead, he sent others in his stead to search for it. And finally, in 1891, his compatriot Warren Peters found it. But after they cashed in that first haul of gold, Peters went back and couldn't find the entrance, and was even chased off by the local cowboys. And that was the last anybody heard of the Lost Ledge of Gold. Rumor has it those cowboys, they have dynamited the entrance to protect their rangeland.
I watch it break and I'll fall right into the water. Sploosh! Right?
Although we didn't find that lost ledge of gold while we were visiting here, we did find our own golden moments in places like these. And while we were relaxing and enjoying that homemade swing along the riverside, we also got to enjoy one more taste of the Old West as it walked by. Thankfully, this particular cowboy had no interest in running us off the land as those cowboys did back in Hubble's days. And soon enough, we found ourselves loading back up and driving those last few miles along the East Fork of the Virgin River.
I saw you today when I wasn't looking. There was a sway in the trees above that told me you were near. And I heard your voice when I wasn't listening. There was a sweet noise I'd never heard before, singing in the breeze. You
As you drive those few last easy miles out on the lower Barracks Trail, you might want to keep your eyes open for a parking lot on the right. From this parking lot, an extremely short walk will take you to one of the most celebrated rock-hewn drainage tunnels in all of Utah. Welcome to the notorious Belly of the Dragon.
Yeah.
I agree. She's like, really? The other way up? I don't recognize it. It looked like it was easy.
I like my name better.
We're going to call it the bowels of the dragon from here on out? Actually, the belly of the dragon. Here's a guy who renames everything that we see. What else do you want to tell YouTube?
Well, like and subscribe. We're on our way to the top.
The top of what?
Who knows?
Okay, that works because right now we're at the bottom. We're at the bottom of a culvert pipe underneath a big road, otherwise called the Belly of the Dragon, which is really cool to walk through, and it's literally cool.
Don't make them like they used to.
The wrong kind of drainage, right? Not that kind of drainage. Use pit toilets.
Oh, there was someone.
Yes, there are.
Funny, the old-fashioned color pipe because of the attraction.
It is interesting. It's kind of cool, though.
Got some poor pots and
Okay.
Possibly. Oh my goodness.
That wasn't me.
Sure, it wasn't you. Can't take you guys anywhere, can I?
I'm definitely not. I don't even know how.
Thanks for waiting.
Whether there was water or more pop.
Water's probably better for you.
We haven't had much today.
But yeah, it's a very short walk.
Why cars it differently like this?
Because they're dirty.
Because they're Jeeps.
They're dirty Jeeps.
And they get Jeep.
They get Jeeped. They definitely get Jeeped. I mean, they look beautiful, pristine, like they haven't been anywhere, like they haven't been in the dust for the last 2
I
weeks.
just saw the water line from Arkansas on the front bumper, so here we are in Utah.
I do still have the water line from Arkansas. It never went away. Right there it is.
The four of us expected that the Barracks Trail was going to be the last big adventure for our trip. We still had 4 or 5 days ahead of us, but we were going to need all of those days to get home. Just because those big trails were behind us didn't mean, however, that we weren't going to go out of our way to enjoy some other places on the way home. Places like the Dixie National Forest and the road through the Red Canyon. And if the beautiful red rock formations on this road look familiar, that's probably because this is also the road to Bryce Canyon. That night we camped out near to Bryce Canyon and experienced the coldest temperatures of our entire trip, definitely below freezing. And if you're curious about what other adventures we might get up to on our way home, you'll just have to come back and check those out next time. But today, I'll leave you with just a little glimpse of that next adventure. So thanks for watching, and I hope you'll come back next time. But in the meantime, do as the tiny dog says.